Finally awake, huh? Have a seat. Go on, before you keel over. Anthony, the medic. He said you're a false risk, and I don't want your blood all over my cabin. The crew is plenty tired of scrubbing blood out of the floorboards already. Oh, relax, I won't do anything to you. You seem perfectly capable of hurting yourself as it is. You see the dilemma I have on my hands, don't you? My crew stumbles across a stranger adrift in the open ocean. They're clinging on to a piece of driftwood, unconscious, suffering from heat stroke and dehydration. So, we bring them aboard, and for some reason they look familiar. Maybe not to the rest of the crew, but to a keen observer who could see past the bruises and the wear, and, your general sorry state, you bear a striking resemblance to a certain missing noble. You get what I'm hinting at? Your family says that you were kidnapped. They're willing to pay quite the reward to whoever can bring you back alive. But there is a flaw in this. See, any kidnapper would have demanded a ransom by now, and your family would have happily paid it. This is the sort of thing that they would do to keep things under wrap. But once there started rumors of a marriage alliance between your family and another family of high standing began to circulate, I pieced it together. So, what do you think? How much older is your fiancé? 30? Maybe 40 years? I reckon they're powerful, but by no means well liked too. And you? Showing up now, it confirms my suspicions. You must have ran away. Look, don't waste your breath trying to deny its sweetness. You can put on this commoner's clothes, but you can't hide what you truly are. Look, just be quiet and listen to me. Do you know how much the reward is? 7,000 gold coins. That could buy me a whole new ship. Tell me truly, do you think you're worth a ship this size? Perhaps more. I bet your fiancé and parents would throw some more coin in there for me to keep. If I was, to keep my mouth shut about this whole secret and how you ran away on your own volition. Nah, let me finish. See, not only are you lucky that my men didn't kill you on sight, but because I'm smart enough to know when I'm presented with a good investment. You don't want to go back home to your, quite frankly, ancient fiancé, and you're more used to me if you aren't locked up inside the walls of your family estate. You see, you are their only heir. They're dependent on you, whether they like it or not. And now, while you're still young, while you still have no control over your own life, they want you to marry this fiancé so you can produce another heir of theirs, one that would be much easier to control. They care more about power than they care about you. Am I wrong? Look me in the eyes and tell me that I'm wrong. No, I think I'm different. Yes, I do care about power, and I'll use you to get it. But unlike them, I'm not gonna lie to you about it. I won't pretend like I care about you to manipulate you into doing what I want. I'm going to get my way because I have something that you need. protection. Hear me out. You see, with such a big reward, you're not safe in any town in this hemisphere. If I were to let you go in Port Barrel, there would probably be a dozen bounty hunters on your tail along with a local law enforcement or something along those lines the moment you step off the ship. So, I have a proposal. One that could possibly benefit the both of us. You'll have my protection, and I will have your power. Keep a foot in my world, and I keep a foot in yours. And with that, we'll get what we both want. Well, you are seeking refuge, yes? And I am seeking to strengthen my alliances, as well as forge new ones. Pillaging merchant vessels is all well and good, but we aren't turning enough of a profit. It isn't sustainable, and my crew is growing restless. I've climbed the ranks as much as I could, and now I have 40 men under my command aboard this war vessel. But I can only do so much with that. The other people of significant standing in my field, they just can't be trusted. They don't fear anything. Unless I make a lateral jump. There's so much more potential there. With you. Your people. They want what only I can provide. Look, protest all you like, Your Grace, but tell me, what's to keep me from turning you over to your parents and just claiming the reward money for me and my crew? If my people knew who you were, if they knew what I knew, they'd commandeer the ship and pawn you off to the highest bidder. Look, you'll have to forget your rigid moral code if you don't want to go back. And let me remind you of what awaits you back at home. Uh-huh. An aging fiancé with a poor reputation. Family members who will pull your strings like some puppet. And all the freedom of a pretty little bird in a pretty little cage. Come on, sweetness. Help me, and I'll help you. What I want you to do is easy, really. Though, I'll need you to keep an open mind. Well, by the laws of your country, you can only have one spouse. So a surefire way to guarantee that you're safe from your fiancé is to marry someone else. Listen to me. I need the backing of your good name to expand my enterprise. Unfortunately, those who know me only know of the reputation I formed in my youth, when I was reckless and far more bloodthirsty. No one wants to work with an unpredictable and rather treacherous man like me. But you? Everyone knows how much power your family holds. I'm sure you've experienced firsthand all the people trying to dip their sticky little paws into your family's pockets. But, see, I'm not after your money. I'm after your name. See, this is my problem. No one trusts me. At least, not as I am now. And I'm tired of making up for it with threats and violence. It's gotten old. I'm sick of it. And the crew is just keeps getting more and more restless too. So, look. You need protection. And I can give you that. I know you don't trust me, and I can't blame you for not trusting me. But what other choice do you have? It's either I hand you over to your family, or you accept my proposal. You look horrified. Don't worry, sweetness. It would be in name only. I don't give a damn about producing a hair or something like that. Like pirates don't give a damn about bloodlines. I don't even need you to do anything other than sign a piece of paper in front of my first mate. After that, you can do as you please, so long as you stay close enough for me to keep you out of trouble. Word will reach your parents, and they won't have to worry about, you being married off to their fiancé. Because, well, that's for me to worry about. Not to mention, divorce is quite illegal where you come from, so that might be a bit difficult. As for me, I'll be forging connections, networking, expanding my reach. See, I need you to get into the pockets of the noble class, because they're the ones who control the trade routes. Smuggling is a lucrative business, but only if you have the right clients. Oh, don't give me that. Don't act like I'm the one ripping you away from your old life when you chose to run away. I'm just here to provide you with a great opportunity. There isn't much to think about. The right choice is obvious. That being said, if you'd rather go back home, then I suppose I'll let you go. As much faith as you lost in your family, and now you're also hesitant to trust me. I won't force your hand. Either way, I have something to gain from both. But you have everything to lose if you go back to your family. I'm not asking for a lot. I'm asking for a year. That's what I need to expand my business. After that, we can forget about the marriage. Burn the certificate even. You can take your family's riches and start over somewhere new. And in the meantime, like I said, I promise that I will protect you from your family and anyone else who might try to take advantage of you. Sweetness, I'm not taking advantage of you. I'm taking advantage of the situation. We both have something the other person wants, which in fact makes this a deal, a partnership. Look me in the eyes and tell me you'd rather be married to that corpse you call your fiancé, forced to have a child with them, nothing more than a pawn in your family's game than, marry me. At least with me, you get to have choices. And I don't want your children. I'm not asking you to give a damn about me either, let alone spend the rest of your life with me. I'm not asking you to do anything other than sign a piece of paper. And take me to the next dinner party you're invited to. That's it. Well, yes. It would involve you going back home. But with us married, you'd have nothing to fear. Your parents and your fiancé won't be able to do a thing. They'll have no choice but to work with us. We can promise them an heir, and by the time they find out that they won't be getting one, you'll be relaxing in some cottage on the beach, an ocean away. It won't be like it was. With me backing you up, they can't push you around. You may be stuck with me, but in a sense, I am giving you your freedom back. More than they could ever give you anyways. Forgive me, sweetness. I got ahead of myself, didn't I? You're right. I do have this all backwards. Proposing marriage when you don't even know my name. I knew yours, so I suppose I forgot to introduce myself. How about this? If you say yes, I'll tell you. It'll only seem right, considering how I'll be your husband. Just say yes, sweetness. Nothing bad is going to happen to you. It's Captain Harcel. To the crew, anyway. But, seeing as you'll be my equal, you can call me David. Does the name ring any bells? Yeah, I thought not. Keeping to myself lately, waiting for the right moment to pop up again. Anyway, we have plenty of time to sort out the details. I'm sure the crew will want to celebrate. I hope you don't mind bad singing and questionable speeches. I'd say we get it over and done with right now, but it looks like you'll need some time to wrap your head around your predicament. Here. Maybe this'll help. It's whiskey, not the watered down ale that the crew drinks. Come on. You're one of us now. It might help if you act like it. Now, how about I take you back to the infirmary? 'Cause you look exhausted. And I'm sure you need some time to process this. I need you back in good health, as soon as possible. It would be tragic if you passed out during the ceremony. Hmm? Oh yes, the crew will be expecting a ceremony. They take weddings very seriously. You've only seen their bloodthirsty side, but they're actually just a bunch of romantics. They're gonna be disappointed when they find out that we're gonna be married in name only. Here we are. Yeah, lie down. Our medic is probably grumpy that I ordered you to be brought to my quarters. It's best we try to appease him, considering he does so much to keep us alive. Hmm? What? You're looking at me as if I'm some monster. I'll admit, I'm doing this for selfish reasons, but doesn't it benefit you too? It's not as if I'm keeping you prisoner. I can take you back home. You know, present your parents with our marriage certificate, and you'll have more freedom than you've ever had before. They'll have no legal power over you anymore, since the laws of your country dictate that you would be part of my household instead of theirs. The only repercussions of our union would be the rift it'll cause between you and your family. Potentially your fiance's family too. But, well, it's not that that wasn't there already, was it? What's more important to you? Their approval or your freedom? Really? What do you have to fear? I get nothing out of hurting you or killing you or going back on my word. I suppose I could get a decent amount of money, but it's nothing in comparison to what you and I will be able to do. The crew will be all for it too, when they realize the money I make. The more money I make is, well, the more money they make. And you won't have to obey every single rule of high society. Not while you're on the ship. It's exhausting, isn't it? Always tiptoeing about, your days and about different subjects, watching your words, your actions. It must make for a paranoid bunch of people, having to abide by all those rules and regulations. But here, you're free. The ocean may be unforgiving, but she only asks for respect. Well, after we get married, we'll have to show our faces and spread the word. It isn't a great idea to go back to your hometown yet, but the capital might be a good idea. Attend a few parties here and there, show me off to your noble friends, get the rumor mill turning. We'll tell them I'm a powerful privateer, and eventually the ants will come crawling out of the woodworks. Barons who want their illegal shipments delivered discreetly, diplomats who need protection while crossing the high seas, and your parents? They won't be able to touch us. If they try breaking us apart, well, that would only cause more of a scandal. They would have no choice but to just go along with it. Unless they want some damage. Well, you're almost hiding it. How scared you are. But what's the worst that they could do to you? They can't do anything. Not when you're under my protection. And me? You don't have to be scared of me. I'd only ever have to hurt you if you tried to betray me. And I'm cautiously optimistic that you won't be foolish enough to do that. Well, look. I didn't expect you to be enthusiastic. I mean, of course. But I didn't realize how much it would bother me to see you this uneasy. Here. Let me make you a promise. No. Not even a promise. Not even a deal. Not anything that requires anything from you. Let me make you an oath. Where is it? Here. This ring. It used to belong to an old friend. I promised I would always look out for him. That I would be loyal to him. We were brothers. Not by blood, but by choice. He's gone now. Though it was no one's fault, really. He was sick. There was no revenge to be had, unfortunately. Lord knows I would have burned the whole world for him. Heck, I already killed to protect him. And he did the same for me. We were loyal to a fault. I chose him to be my family. And I'm doing the same now. With this oath, I promise to do everything I can to protect you. To respect you. To treat you as my equal. And I promise to trust you. I wouldn't be able to do any of this if I didn't think that I could trust you. So, here. Take this ring as a symbol of that promise. Yeah. It's quite big, isn't it? Well, take my necklace too. You can wear the ring on the chain. May I? There. It looks good on you. We can shop for a wedding ring that fits when we reach port. I hope you aren't counting on an extravagant wedding, by the way. I'll put on my nice coat if it helps. I'm afraid you'll be stuck in those hand-me-downs. The seawater ruined your clothes, but soon enough we'll be able to replace your whole wardrobe. You don't need to be scared of me. I don't want you to be scared of me. I'm a little sick of people being scared of me. Of watching them make fools of themselves. But you were brave enough to leave home. So I think you have the bravery to put up with me, sweetness. You don't have to be worried about that. Like I said, it would be in name only. No wedding night activities, okay? Or are you disappointed by that? Oh, don't be so mortified, sweetness. I was only joking. Part of you is relieved, isn't it? That you don't have to keep running. What was your plan, anyways? You didn't have one, did you? Well, not that it matters now. Because now, you're safe. You don't have to run. And listen, if it truly is that bad, then feel free to just desert me once I've forged a better reputation for myself. Maybe get married for real. Have children. Have a normal life. But I have a feeling that you don't want normal. That you'd rather risk it with me than return to your old life. There's nothing for you back home. And, truth be told, I think you would have run away even without the forced marriage bit. Coincidence? Fate? It doesn't matter. I think we're both lucky that you decided to run away. That I found you. Well, I think I've rambled on for long enough. You really do need to rest now. I won't keep you any longer, lest Anthony berate me for interrupting your healing process. Just rest. Let all of this settle in. I'll make sure someone brings you dinner in a little while. Okay? Yeah. Sweetness. Everything will be alright. I promise. Whoop. Let me take that. Trust me, Your Grace. You don't want to drink that. It's practically paint stripper. And I need you clear-headed. Yes, I need you. To talk to you. It's important. Come with me to my cabin. They love any excuse to celebrate, you know? And they seem to like you too. Shy as you are. I was glad to see you weren't, letting them intimidate you all too much. You were shark bait yesterday, and now you're well on your way to becoming one of us. But, how are you holding up? Fine. Oh, how you fill me with confidence. You seemed alright out there, even during the ceremony. But now that we're alone... I see. I suppose it's a perk that you're easy on the eyes, but... I didn't bring you in here to make it biblical. I just thought that you could use a break. That's all. Marriage in name only, Your Grace. Are you okay? You look like you're in pain. No, You can't just shrug me off. Move your hand. Let's have a look. Oh, Christ, little minnow. You tore your stitches. Go sit. Sit. If I send you to Anthony, he's gonna give me an earful. He told me to keep you off your feet, and, well, I haven't exactly listened to him. See? This will be easier if you lie down. Come on, sweetness, don't look at me like that. I know my moral compass doesn't exactly point to true north, but I won't do anything to you. I don't care if it's my legal right. I'm not exactly concerned with the law now, am I? Now, that ring... What did I promise you, Your Grace? I promised that I would protect you and respect you, so please just lay back so I can fix you up before Anthony finds out that I haven't been listening to him. I may be the captain, but he could poison us all and we'd be none the wiser until it's too late. The last thing I want is to be the straw that broke the camel's back. Hey, it's alright. I know it hurts, but we'll get it fixed, okay? I'm... I'm going to lift up your shirt, alright? Just... just halfway. Yeah, up to here. Can you hold it there for me? Thanks. Stay still. I'm going to pull out the torn stitches. There's only a couple, but just brace yourself. It might sting a little. Ah, right. I wanted to talk about this evening. We'll be pulling into port. I expect you'll want to get off the ship and stretch your legs, but word of your absence has spread even further now. There will be people out there looking for you. People who want a reward for getting you back home. Now, as much as I would love to lock you in the brig while the crew picks up the supplies that we need, I realize that I need to exercise a bit of trust with you. If we're going to be partners, that is. So, I'm thinking that you are gonna have a crew member with you at all times, even if it's not me. Though I admit that it would lessen my worries if you were actually able to defend yourself. Consider this a wedding present. So, here. It's just a simple dagger, but if you need, it will kill a man if you know how to use it. Will is the best with knives. I'll have him give you some proper pointers. Just, promise not to stab any of my crew, please. It would make it incredibly hard to vouch for you. Yes, Will. Actually, I think you were playing cards with him earlier. Um, you know he let you win, right? He did. Even I can't beat him. When it comes to cards, no matter the game. I think that was his way of saying that he likes you. Alright, I've pulled off all of the torn stitches. So now for the more painful part. I have to replace them now. I'm not as neat as Anthony, but I'm quick. Okay. It's just a little needle, Minnow. You know, you've evidently suffered worse. So, this will probably feel like nothing. Here. Finish your drink. That's it. It's gonna be okay. Why don't you try looking at the ceiling and, tell me about your house. Tell me what it's like to be there. And your pets? You must have some. That's ridiculous. No siblings and no pets allowed? It's like your parents wanted you to be lonely. You know, I've been meaning to find a kitten that we can raise on the ship to catch mice. I'm afraid most grown cats are too scared of the water. There we go. Well, the worst part's over. You did good. I just need to dress the wound, and we'll be all done. Well, if you don't like cats, then we can get a dog too. Perhaps a goat. Anything bigger won't fare too well on the ship. I could get you a parrot if you'd like. If you want to be a real pirate. I'm not kidding, Minnow. Hell, you could go out and, bring back a python and I wouldn't be able to do much about it. You're your own person, you know? Your parents can't tell you what you can and can't do anymore. And I'm certainly not going to. That would be against their deal. However, I can tell you what you should be doing, though. Well, I think you should track down the dirtiest, mangiest, scraggliest mutt that you can find. Bribe it with a bit of food and bring it home to your parents. Just let it loose in the house. Let it piss all over the furniture. Or perhaps find a cat too, and then set it loose in the house as well for the mutt to chase. And if all goes well, you can sit back and watch your parents chase the dog all throughout the house while it wreaks havoc. It's the sort of entertainment you deserve after being denied a companion all those years. There you go. You're all set. Here. Take my nightshirt. Yours is all bloody. I'll turn around. Don't worry. I won't be peeking. You decent now? Alright. Off you go then. What? Were you expecting something else? Well, no, you guys. I'm not gonna keep you here. So, go on. Swim away. Like I said, I don't expect anything from you. Not right now. I don't expect you to like me, and I certainly don't expect you to share my bed. So, stand up. And stop staring at me like I'm about to pounce on you. Go on, enjoy the rest of the festivities. I understand that it's strange for you. That you've never been on a ship like this. But I need you to take my words at face value. You don't have to be in here anymore, so just... The wedding present? It was just a dagger, Minnow. I have 20 more. You don't need to... what are you doing? You... Have you had that this entire time? Whoa. Are those real diamonds? Oh, Saints, this is worth more than your reward. What are you trying to do? Buy your freedom? Because it's a little too late for that. Oh. A wedding present. A gesture of goodwill. Your goodwill. Minnow. This is quite a bit more than a gesture of goodwill. This is... This is enough to buy a whole island. It's a good thing that others didn't know about this. Who knows what they would have done to you. To each other if they got their hands on it. Well... Thank you, I suppose, for your generosity. Well... Looks like our business here is done. I won't keep you here any longer, so... Go on. Go enjoy the rest of the celebration. I don't care if it's loud out there. If you want peace and quiet, then... Probably the best choice for you is to go back to the infirmary while you wait for things to die down. Yeah. I suppose it is a rather depressing place. Then, fine. You can stay. If you'd really rather be here than anywhere else. But this will be just for now, okay? Assuming that, you can bunk with someone else. Like, well, his usual bunkmate doesn't often leave our home base, so the other bed is empty. Though I doubt you get much rest. He can be rowdy at the best of times. No, 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 no. I value my personal space, and I'd like to sleep in my own bed. We may be married, but I won't share a bed with you, either literally or in euphemism. Look, I'm tired, and I want to rest before we reach port. You're welcome to stay as long as you remain quiet. Are you nervous about going home? Yes, I was thinking about that too. But I can handle your fiance. Well, ex-fiance. It's actually quite easy to threaten nobility because they have so much that they're scared of losing. It won't be hard to get your fiance to just quietly move on. Now, your parents might prove a bit more of a challenge, since appeasing someone is much harder than scaring them into submission. They'll be upset with you for running away and getting married behind their back, but I think they'll realize that they stand to benefit from this too, if they play their cards right. They'll realize that they need to have a good standing with you. Otherwise, they'll risk you disappearing forever and losing their only chance of producing an heir. Uh-huh. Hey, what is it? You look like you have a question. Have I ever had a what? Had an out-of-body experience. Murdered someone in cold blood. Hmm. I'm not sure you want to hear this, but yes. I've I've been in love, but that was a long time ago, and fleeting. You know how it is when you're young, when you first start to notice other people that way. I don't care much to share the details. I don't think romance is on the table for me, unfortunately. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that since we're newlyweds, but it's for the best. In reality, I am only out here for myself in the long run. You're just lucky that taking care of you is part of that. Well, I might as well throw the question back at you. Have you been in love? I guess it's hard to know, isn't it? Well, when all is said and done, you could have that. Love. Someone who won't want to use you to get something else. I only ask that it's someone your parents vehemently disapprove of. There's no chance for us, Your Grace. We may find that we work well together, but I haven't loved anyone in a long time. And if you ever begin to think that you love me, well, it would only be the version that I've shown you to make this work. It wouldn't be real. We can be friends if you'd like. But thinking it could be anything more isn't a good idea. We can fool other people, but we can't fool ourselves. And if you meet with someone while you're with me, that's alright. I'd encourage it, really. As long as they're as alright with you being married. I'd have to at least try to scare them away, though. You know, to keep up appearances. You aren't half bad, you know. I thought you'd be some pompous pushover. But you're not. You're quiet, that's for sure, but you aren't the blubbering, whimpering mess I expected you to be. I think it's because you're not used to getting your way like the rest of your class is. You're used to not being in control. Never being a free agent. To me, this is why life was so enticing, I think. I was enlisted in the Royal Navy back in the day. It was my way of escaping home. But it turned out I was no more free than I was before. The first man I killed was an enemy soldier. A boy, really. That was only taking orders from his own officer like I was. I realized then that there was no good or bad. Just the notion that people believed someone had to be one or the other. And I promised myself that I was done taking orders. Maybe I'm a hypocrite, being the captain of this crew. But I never tried to sell the illusion that we were protecting our country or at all righteous in our actions. They are under no contract. It wouldn't be high treason for them to leave. But they choose to stay anyways. You'd make a fine pirate, I think. Most of us are runaways, tired of being taken advantage of. She doesn't care, you know? The ocean. She doesn't care what or who you were before you found her. The nice thing about being a pirate is that there are no rules. It's frightening to most, but a comfort to people like you and me who have only ever been screwed over. Well, while you're here, I can teach you about the ship if you'd like. How to fight. You'll need to know certain things if you decide to spend most of your time with the crew. They're already warming up to you, you know? And as much as I don't want to admit it, I am too. Evidently. Well, I'm gonna go get us some food before it all disappears. I'll be back soon, and by the time we're done eating, we should be pulling into port. Yes, sweetness. You can get whatever you want. You never even have to look at another lace collar if you don't want to. Here. What about this? It's elegant and practical. What? I can't have an eye for fashion? Oh, look. That stall is selling rings. Come on. What do you think, Minnow? Diamond is the classic choice, but a little tired, I think. How about this one? Look at the size of this ruby. Though, I suppose this is more of my taste. Perhaps you'd like something a little more subtle? I didn't mean that subtle. It's the cheapest one, come on. I thought you nobles had fine taste. I certainly have the means for it, Your Grace, if that's what you're worried about. What, cold feet? It's a little too late for that, considering we already signed the paperwork. How about these? It's a matching set. There'll be one for you, and one for me. Ah, yes sir. Married just yesterday, if you'd believe it. We couldn't bear waiting any longer, even if it meant doing the ceremony without exchanging rings. But here we are now, aren't we? Yes, we were looking at these two. Minnow, do you think these will do? Great, we'll take them. No. I usually love a good barter, but we best be on our way. Besides, it's a fair enough price as it is. Enjoy the rest of your morning. Let's go, Minnow. Let's find a quieter place. Minnow? Oh shit, where'd you go? Hey! Stop! Get your hands off them. Now piss off before I fire a bullet through your thick fucking skull. Yeah, that's right. Run away. I'm not hesitating next time. What a bunch of cowards. Your Grace? Are you okay? Hey, easy. It's just me. You're okay. They're gone. They must have recognized you. Did you recognize them? They were your guards. Then there might be more. We need to move. Come on. They didn't hurt you, did they? Good. Then take my hand. I don't want to lose you in the crowd again. It's a good thing we decided to hide the ship. If they'd seen you walk off in it, then it'd be pretty bad. Here, let's slip into this alley. Hey. It's alright. I said I would protect you, and I meant it. I know that scared you, but I was there, wasn't I? So, you'll be okay. Just calm down. We need to keep our heads on straight if we want to get out of here. Listen to me, sweetness. I'm not gonna let a few pesky guards take you away. You aren't going back. You aren't. Your parents and your fiancé can send a whole army after us if they so wish. But no one has been able to catch up to me in years. And that's not gonna happen now. I'll keep you safe. You just need to trust me. That really rattled you, didn't it? But I need you to keep it together. Just take a deep breath. In and out. Any better? Keep your chin up, Minnow. It won't be like this all the time. Once they realize who exactly they're dealing with, then no one will dare to touch you. I'm not exactly the cold-blooded killer I was in my youth, but they don't know that. And we should keep it that way and use it in our advantage. Here, let's get into our new outfits. That way it'll be harder for them to spot us if we're wearing something different. Don't worry, the alley is empty, so I'll turn around. I know we're married, Your Grace, but just let me be a gentleman while I can, alright? Now, you go first. I'm turning around. We'll have to try and stay off the main street until we get to the outskirts of town. We took the ferry in, but we won't be able to take it back out. The city guards are probably already alerted of your presence, so we'll have to take the roads that lead through the farmlands. If my estimations are correct, then it'll probably be around 3 miles or so to the cove where we hid the ship. Can you manage that? How's the wound? Oh, the buttons. Sure. Turn around. Hold still. These things are so tiny. No wonder you can't do this on your own. I can't help you get dressed every day, you know. Next thing we buy you is gonna have to be something with 0 buttons. Okay? Hold on. I've almost got the last one. And there. Grab my hand. Come on. I'm not letting you disappear on me again. No, ditch the old clothes. We don't need them anymore. Like it or not, your best interests are now my best interest. Part of it is because you're an investment, of course, but I can't stand the idea of letting you go back to your decaying fiancé. I did some more digging and, none of it was good. The death of their last spouse was questionable at best. And according to some recent rumors, they have a hands-on approach to so-called discipline. Now, don't get me wrong, some people need a good beating, but it's people like that who need it. And you don't have a violent bone in your body. I can tell. So, yes, you're an investment, but I can't deny that I'd feel at least a little guilty if I let you go. I think I might have accidentally tricked myself into caring about you now, Minnow. I thought I could keep my feelings separate. Told myself it was strictly for business, but I suppose I can't help it. It just got mixed up in my head. Or was that something that you planned? Huh, sweetness. Alright, I guess I'll be quiet now. We do need to pick up the pace. Ah, there she is. Here, let's just sit a while on the bank. We're hidden here by the cliffs, so we should be okay. Come on. The sun is setting, and it's a pretty perfect time to view it. Just watch it with me. Hey, was that a shiver? Oh, come here. Come on. After what I put you through today, I don't mind sharing my coat. It doesn't mean anything, though, Minnow. We're just gonna sit here and enjoy the sunset. That's all. You need a moment to catch your breath after all, and I do too. Today has been a lot for the both of us. Now, get closer. Christ, you're freezing. It isn't even that cold out. Are you always this cold? Not to worry. We'll be in warmer waters soon. I've said this before. You don't need to call me Captain. It's just David. What is it? What did you want to ask? No, there's no one else. If there was, they probably wouldn't be too happy about this, would they? I stopped looking for love a long time ago. I forgot about the idea of marrying for love even before then. Marriage, at its heart, is a business proposal. It was with your ex-fiance, wasn't it? It was between my parents, and I'm sure it was between yours. I've loved before, sure, but I just don't think it's in the cards for me anymore. Well, I suppose that doesn't mean that there isn't any hope for you. When all is said and done, even if it's a few years from now, you can try starting over. Build a new identity. Be whoever you want to be and marry whoever you want to marry. Love could be in the cards for you, if you play your hand right. Minnow, I don't I don't want you to get your hopes up. At least regarding us. We likely aren't going to fall in love. At least, I don't think I will. I certainly can't stop you from falling in love with me. Look, I might care about you. Hell, I might even like you. But, like I said, I've given up on love a long time ago. This? Me sharing my coat isn't exactly equivalent to me professing my love for you. It's just... I would rather you not freeze to death. You can try all you like to win me over with diamonds and such, but I can't be bought. I don't have any love to buy. Besides, I hardly know you. How about you tell me something about yourself? Like, I don't know, your favorite color. I should have known. Oh, well, because your whole outfit is that color. And so is the one we found you in, actually. Mine? Well, would it be cliche to say sea green? What? I can't help myself. I spend my whole time in the sea. I am who I am. My second favorite color is the color of the clouds out there. The ones tinged with pink from the sun. Hey, I can still be a romantic even if I've given up on love. What about you? Did you have some sort of secret love back at home? You can tell me. I won't judge. Really? Then, have you ever? Hey, I didn't mean to offend. It's just... I'm surprised, that's all. You're pretty well mannered, and you didn't cry and sob and beg for your life when we first talked. You have more character than most. You must have been turning down suitors left and right when you were back home. That makes sense, I suppose. It must be one of the many drawbacks of high society. Never being able to tell who's after your heart and who's after your power. At least I was upfront about my intentions, right? That has to count for something. I have to say, I am grateful that you aren't some spineless, whimpering mess. It would make this whole situation a lot more painful. I have hopes that there's actually a place for you and my crew. For at least as long as you are willing to be with us. I mean it. If you truly wanted to, of course. The only reason I see for a divorce is if you did something truly heinous. Or if you were, you know, to simply want to leave. And if neither is the case, then you could be a part of this crew for as long as you wanted. It would be your choice. And we could even divorce after a while, and you could still stay. As long as we still worked well together, of course. Uh, I... I know I twisted your arm. Maybe I didn't force you to marry me, but... It wasn't as if you had a truly viable alternative. And I know that. I do. But you're my equal now. And I want to try my best to give you all that freedom that you deserve. The freedom that, in a sense, I took away. But I fully intend to give it back. I want us both to benefit from this arrangement. Truly. We could do a lot together, you and I. What's mine is yours, and I mean it. Oh, wait. The rings. I forgot in a rush. Give me your hand. There. Beautiful, isn't it? It even fits perfectly. Oh. You want to put the ring on me? Here. Fits me quite well too. We got lucky, didn't we? The clothes and the rings all fit. Almost like they were made for us. Well, sweetness, where shall we go for our honeymoon? Why are you so practical? But you're right. Let's head back to the ship. We can find another port that isn't crawling with guards. And hey, I meant what I said. This isn't a traditional marriage by any means, but you are my equal. Trust that it will stay that way, okay? Maybe I can't ever give you my love, but I can give you my respect. We're in this together for the long haul. At least that's what it looks like to me. This is no sacred or blessed union by any means, but at least it's ours. And if I was to be honest, I'm glad it's you and not someone else. Your Grace? I can tell you're awake, you know. You can fool Anthony, but you can't fool me. There you are. And no, don't worry, it's okay. You don't have to get up. I just came in to check on you. Well, I heard that you weren't exactly sleeping. You know, we'll be back on your home territory soon, so I just wanted to make sure that you're okay. That you weren't thinking of making a break for it or anything. So, are you alright? You don't have to lie, Minnow. It's early days yet, and I know you're still adjusting. I know you don't fully trust me, that I haven't exactly had all the opportunities to prove myself. And that's fine. That's something that I understand. Is basically what I'm trying to say. I know that I'm a schemer at heart, so I imagine you think that my concern isn't genuine, or that it's only because you're simply an investment in me. A means to an end. Maybe you are. Maybe I... Christ. Little Minnow. I don't know what you've done to me. I had convinced myself that you were going to hate me. That all of this would be just a pain in the ass that would be worth it in the future. That I'd get what I want and then I'd never have to see you again. I didn't anticipate to actually starting to care about you. Much less the crew starting to like you either. Well, I see you laughing and playing cards with the others, you know. I see you helping out around the ship, trying to learn, even if you haven't done a day of physical labor in your life. Climbing up into the crow's nest with our lookouts, sneaking into the pantry with, well, heck, I catch glimpses of you when you're alone too. Fleeting moments here and there where you aren't so sure yourself. When the mask slips a little bit, you're brave, Minnow. You know that, right? I know you think that I'll find that I don't actually have any use for you. But, Minnow, I need you to trust me. Even if that were true, if I did find that I had no use for you, I still made you a deal in the end. I promised that if you married me, then I would protect you. And I have every single intention of keeping that promise. Deals made on land mean nothing to me, you know. But a deal made in the open ocean, I'd be a fool to break it. And I suppose I found that I like having you around. I know that the crew definitely does. You brought us some light, Minnow. You've already done more for me than I could have ever asked for. I'd be a fool to let you go. I don't want you to worry. I want you to know that there's a place for you here. And I know that you're still getting to know us, but honestly, I could say that we're more of your family than your blood ever was. We want you here, and we aren't exactly keen to let you go. You don't have to say anything. And don't you dare try to thank me for anything. Because everything I've done is really just for selfish reasons. I know that. And now I'm about to ask you a question. One that is also selfish in nature, but I'm gonna pretend that I'm doing it for your sake. Do you want to sleep in my bed tonight? I mean, it's far more comfortable than these cots here in the infirmary, and you wouldn't have to listen to Will's snoring. Hey, if I minded, I wouldn't have asked me now. I know that I said in the past that I prefer being alone, but that was... that was before. Just come to my room whenever you feel like. You can leave whenever you like too. Um, can I help you to my room now? Well, come on. I'll help you up. You know, I was thinking we should send a letter to your parents. I haven't written it yet. I was gonna have the first mate help me write it, but he's not the most diplomatic. And Anthony is too angry to help. He thinks that I forced your hand. And I suppose I did. And if anyone holds a grudge, it's probably him. Maybe you can put in a good word for me before he tries to poison my whiskey. Will? He couldn't even sing you the alphabet if you asked him to. I think it's best if you help me anyways. If they see your handwriting, and if it sounds like you wrote it, it'll be more convincing. We can get it over and done with, you know. If you like, we just do it now. Alright, here's the parchment. Some pen and ink. Here, you can sit at my desk. So, for the letter, address it to your parents and your fiancé. I guess you should start by telling them that you're safe, and the fact that you're under the protection of Captain David Harsel, and that you're aboard the Albatross. That way they'll know who I am and what it means if they send anyone after us. Next, tell them that you have called off the engagement and now you're actually married to the captain. Make sure to state that the first mate married us, and that the crew witnessed it. No doubt they'll question the legitimacy of our union. I'll have the first mate sign the letter, confirming that you have written it, and I will sign it too, of course. Your parents' anniversary is in a month or so, correct? I hear it's quite the party. Tell them that you will be in attendance with me as your guest. I think that's all that they need to know for now. Ah, and add that they need to call off the reward, or you will be not returning home. That should do, don't you think? No, I don't need to read it. I trust that it'll do the job and that you've written everything that needs to be written. Just go ahead and sign, and I'll do the same. I said I don't need to. I'm sure it's fine. It's not as if I think you're incriminating me or anything like that. I I don't need to read it. I just told you what to write, so I know what's in the letter. Just sign it and give it to me. Oh, Minnow, why are you so adamant about this? Look, I can't read, alright? It's not as if I ever needed to. Those books? Look, the crew doesn't know, aside from the first mate. And now, you know. Most of them can't read, but I fear that it would undermine my authority if they thought that I couldn't. If I had no books, they'd catch on. I never learned, and when I became captain, I had my second to keep a log and write everything that needed to be written. Oh well, if anything happens to him, then at least I have you. No. Nothing's gonna happen to you. Not on my watch. Your parents will be upset that you married a privateer who's gonna extort them. Not because you married a man who can't read. Anyways, they won't find out. Because you aren't gonna breathe a word of this to anyone. Now, give me that letter so I can sign it. I'm tired and I kinda wanna call it a night. There. Well, that's all done. Do you still want to stay? Alright, go ahead and get in. I still need to change. You don't need to be so shy, Your Grace. I wouldn't have brought you here if I had any qualms about changing in front of you. You know, for once, I'm actually excited to get off the ship. Find a bed that's actually big enough for 2 people. I bet your bed back home is massive, isn't it? Scoot over. No, not too far. Come back. You'll just have to get comfortable with me. Or you can go back to the infirmary if you want, Minnow. Exactly. So, you better get comfortable with me, and we'll just stick close. I don't want your parents thinking that you're being held hostage when they see us together. Well, you aren't a hostage, Minnow. We can call it off right here, right now, if you want to. We can burn the marriage certificate and dump you at the next port, and your parents will be none the wiser. Is that what you want? That's what I thought. Look, we don't have to convince them that we're in love. Just that we're serious. If they sense any hesitation in you, it'll give them the push to try and tear us apart. And we can't have that. You're still tense, Minnow. I know it might be hard, but try to relax. I know you're exhausted. You've barely slept since we found you. Settle in and stop worrying. Everything will be alright. I'm here and I'm here to keep you safe. Just like I promised. And just like I've done before when those guards grabbed you. And don't you dare read into this. I just need you well rested and ready to face your parents. Okay? What is it? I can tell you have something that you want to ask me. How does anyone get to this line of work? Well, all you need is a problem with authority and a penchant for skirting maritime law. And a bit of ambition, I suppose. There are plenty of rumors about how I got here. That I'm a banished prince. A kraken parading around as a man. The true story isn't nearly as entertaining as all of that, though. Well, I suppose I could tell you. You see, my father was in the Royal Navy when I was a boy. He used to tell me about his adventures on the high seas, and I found out too late that they were greatly romanticized. He went missing when I was 9. They don't declare those lost at sea as dead, you know? Not ever. He's just one of the thousands of lost souls. My mother and I held a funeral for him after 2 years. She was arrested for theft shortly after. and I was sent off as a ward of the state. I wanted to be like him, like my father. So, I left the orphanage to join the Navy when I was 15. Actually, I lied and said that I was 17, and they let me in. That's where I met that friend I told you about. Lawrence. It's his ring that you wear around your neck. We were assigned to the ship under the same captain. Lawrence saved my life more times than I can count, and I his. Looking back on it now, we saw all of the things that my father had left out of his tales. Things not suitable for a child's ears. Things that I dare not tell you. We began to doubt that we were on the right side of things. Lawrence and I. Our captain was particularly malicious, sacrificing many young men in the name of national security or whatever it was. It went on for years, and our hatred compounded. And the other crew members that had served for as long as we had, they were angry too. When we started, we were promised glory. But really, we were only ashamed at what we had done. Mutiny, they called it. But what we did was justice. Lawrence and I killed the captain. He held him down, while I slit his throat. I told Lawrence he should be captain, that he was more level-headed than I. Smarter, too. But he said since I had been the one to draw blood, that it should be me. Something about it being my right. Those that didn't want to be part of the crew, we dropped at the nearest port. Then we just took the ship and we left. This cabin. It was his cabin, you know? The old captain's. That's where all the books came from. Afterwards, I was branded a traitor. I'm still wanted for high treason back home, but they can't get me as long as I don't set foot in the country. They say that I murdered the men that are in my crew now. But the truth is, the only man I've ever murdered in cold blood was the captain. And that was because he deserved it. Minnow, I'm sorry. This probably isn't making it any easier for you to relax, but thank you for listening. I wouldn't blame you if you were scared of me. What? No. I won't ever do anything to hurt you. Not ever. But I feel like you should know that I'm not a good man, Minnow. I pretend the sea has washed away my sins, but I'm afraid my soul is stained. I fully expected you to hate me, to fight me every step of the way because I knew you could see that I am no saint. But God, every time I look at you, I feel forgiven. That maybe the sea gifted you to me because it decided that I had suffered enough. I know that I said I had no love to give, but then I look at you and now I'm starting to think that maybe, just maybe I do. Not a lot, not enough, but some. I think that I could love you. I mean, I love the sea, don't I? And That's where you came from. So, couldn't I learn to love you as well? Is it something worth trying? Yes, Minnow. Really. This is how I feel. And honestly, I might as well try. I want to try, if you will too. But only if you promise to stay with me. I I know that wasn't part of the deal, but I can't risk falling in love with you if you mean to leave me. So can you promise me that you'll stay? You do that and I'll promise to find a way to love you. To finally be honest with these feelings of mine. You don't have to love me back. But can you please just stay? I can't wait to see the look on your parents' face when they see us. And your fiancé, of course, too. With this, they won't be able to touch us. You know, I bet we'll be at the center of the attention at our own party. You, returning home safe and sound after supposedly being kidnapped. Which, I suppose, in a sense, it makes me look like your knight in shining armor. Everyone will want to know our story. Perhaps we tell a different one each time to keep them on their toes. Keep people talking about us. If I know anything about you, you'll want to stay out of the limelight, but I can't deny that I'll like the attention, and I'll be enjoying showing you off too. We should make a big show of it, just to piss off your parents too. There's the matter of business as well. I do need the notoriety. You know, I was thinking you should keep your own surname. In fact, I know it's not the usual that happens. I was thinking I should take your surname instead, to distance myself from my old reputation. I can't have people being so scared that they refuse to even say my name. Yes, Captain David Harcel may be a powerful man, but your David is gonna be quite the gentleman instead. Can I see your hand? I want to see the ring again. Look at that, Minnow. A couple weeks ago, and you never would have been able to picture this. Cuddled right up to a bloodthirsty pirate captain. I'm sure you imagined the wedding ring, but a very different partner. You don't understand how happy it makes me that you want to be here. With me. That you trust me. I know it's early days yet, but I have hope for us. I never really liked the idea of this much hope, because hope is a dangerous thing. But what is a pirate's life if not one of danger? Yeah. Try and sleep. You'll need as much energy as possible in order to deal with your parents later. At least, you won't have to deal with them alone, That's alright. You can go to sleep. You should sleep. I'll be right here when you wake up. Good night, little minnow. Sleep well. Of course it's the wrong fork. Can you cut me some slack, will you? I only had a 1 in a 4 chance of choosing the right one, and I just don't understand. Like, this creates so many dishes. Your servants literally have to wash 4 times the amount of silverware than they actually need to, when a knife, a fork, and a spoon is all that you could possibly need. Like, maybe a butter knife, fine, but that's pushing it. There is no world where you need 4 fucking forks. You know what? Can you pass the wine? Please? Thank you. Finally, I get to have something that will help with this. Huh? Then which one is the right glass? It tastes the same no matter what vessel you put it in. Oh, come on, sweetness. I don't care if they're staring. I'll just drink it straight from the bottle. See what they have to say about that. I know, I'm sorry. Look, will you just pour it in for me? Because I'm obviously incompetent. Thanks. I didn't expect that it would take me so much alcohol to get through this. Huh? Oh, don't worry how I'm chugging it. Unlike the others in our company, I'm not exactly a lightweight. We drink more ale than water at sea. And what's with the tiny portions anyways? It doesn't exactly scream abundance and indulgence and wealth to feed guests so little. What? You're saying there's 7 more courses? You're pulling my leg. You must be. I can't believe you put up with all of this idiocy your entire life. I'm fine. I'm alright. Hey, does your mother always stare like this? She's about to pop a blood vessel. And your father still hasn't said a word to us. But he evidently doesn't mind talking about us. I mean, just look at him. He's not even... Excuse me, darling. You. Say that again. No. You aren't getting away from this. Fucking say that again. I don't care if you're her father. I don't care if you're the emperor. You've been whispering about us all evening and haven't even the courtesy to try to hide it. Insulting your own child, and for what? For some sense of superiority? And you insult me because it scares you that you can't control me. That you can't control us. What? Does it bother you that you've lost control? Huh? What? Cat got your tongue? Why don't you speak a little bit louder so the rest of the table can hear, huh? I might not be able to tell the difference between a fucking soup and dessert spoon, but I can tell that you're insecure that the only thing that gets you off is making a mockery of others. Minnow. No. Aren't you angry? Can't you see the way that he's treating us? If he had any dignity, he'd say all those idiotic things to my fucking face. Huh. But you aren't, are you? Whatever. I apologize, your lordship, for disrupting your dinner. Obviously, you just want what's best for your only child. I understand that I'm not all of what you expected. But perhaps we can come to an arrangement. And an arrangement where you can shut your fucking mouth. And hopefully I won't have to shove my gun into it. Oh, I apologize. I didn't mean to frighten your esteemed guest. Oh, I've really made a fool of myself, haven't I? Please, please, everyone. Go back to your dinner. I really didn't mean to cause such a disruption. There wouldn't be a need for things if you had just kept your mouth shut. You know what? For your safety, maybe I'll just excuse myself. Because I think I need a break from all of this lunacy. Fuck. I'm sorry, Minnow. I really am. You didn't hear everything that he said. Maybe he was trying to egg me on. Saying it out loud. Just loud enough for me to hear. I don't know. They all play such a stupid game and they're driving me up the fucking wall. I thought I would be able to handle it, but I'm obviously way out of my depth here. I'm just so used to being around the crew. They don't give a shit about decorum or decorum, however the hell you say it. Etiquette, all of these fine dining things and noble things. Like, my crew respects me. And anyone who doesn't, I'm so used to them being scared shitless of me that they wouldn't dare to actually show it. But I'm not at all threatening in these stupid, fancy clothes with no gun on my hip. Did you really have to make me leave it on the ship? I suppose I gave myself away when I threatened your father. Come on, Minnow, please. It's just a little pistol. And I know you have that knife I gave you. You haven't gone anywhere without it. Sweetness, it's not that I was expecting anything to go wrong, but the day I'm caught without the weapon is the day I'll need them the most. I'm sorry. I know I promised you that I wouldn't cause any trouble, but I didn't think that it would be so hard. To them, this is all just some stupid game. I want nothing more than to wave my gun around and just get them to shut up, or at least have a conversation that isn't full of the slightest bits of insults and mockery. Like, have you seen them talk to each other? So much passive aggression. Do any of them even like each other? If so, why are they here? Fine, I'll sit down again eventually. You know, I actually quite like having you hidden away in the hall with no one else to stare at us. Much better than over there. Now, obviously, I don't exactly mind the stares. Not when they're on me, but they're a little too hungry when they're on you. What do you say we just leave the party? Your room is upstairs, isn't it? No, I know. It's just, it's hard to be concerned about business matters when I can't even tolerate my potential associates. And when you're right there, well within reach, they're already judging me. So I might as well forget about being ashamed and just pull you close. Just like this. I know. I like to tease you. So, can I cut you a deal? How about I'll go sit down, I'll put on a smile, I'll even make polite small talk for an hour or so. And in exchange, we can slip out and head upstairs afterwards, and I get to do whatever I like to you. How's that sound? Huh? What? Yes? No, yes, that works too. Whatever you like. Yeah, you can do whatever you want to me. What? Do you have something particular in mind? Oh, well, I guess I'll just have to wait and see, will I? Alright then, Winnow. A deal's a deal. Really, I don't know how you do it. I'll have to get used to it, I suppose. Anyway, it's over for tonight, at least. And thank goodness it is. I don't know if I could have held on much longer. To have a moment alone, to be truly alone, on a thin wall away from the crew or hidden away in the hall. I've been waiting so long. Whoa. This is all yours? Oh, all ours. I like that. Looking at all of this, it's even more magnificent than I thought it'd be. It puts my cabin to shame. Honestly, how did I see this? I commend you. Somehow and in some way you were able to sleep on the ship without all of this sea of pillows, and a view of the garden. Wow. It's a shame you've had no one to share it with. At least, not until now. Well, Minnow, looks like you're gonna have your way with me tonight. A deal's a deal, after all. So, tell me, what do you exactly have in mind for me tonight? Does it involve me being in bed? The door? What's through there? Don't tell me this is some sort of dungeon. I thought you hadn't had any partners. Your parents should know about this. What? Alright, I'm going. Minnow. This is the bathroom. No, I know you know that. Get in? Please don't tell me you made me sit all the way through that awful dinner just to subject me to a bath. I know we made a deal, but this isn't exactly what I had in mind. No, absolutely not. I'd much rather go back to the bedroom. Please, Minnow. I'm perfectly clean. I even took a dip in the ocean before we got dressed for the party, remember? What? You didn't think I knew? I know you were watching. Oh, come on, soap. Soap is a scam. Trust you? Minnow, you know that makes it sound like you're about to drown me. Th- no, you're right. A deal is a deal. Well, will you help me get these god-awful clothes off? I can't wait to get back into my normal clothes. I could hardly move in that outfit. I'm pretty sure I tore a seam when I threatened your father, too. You don't think he's terribly upset, do you? I'm surprised your mother didn't say anything. It's so warm. When did you even tell the servants to draw you a bath? What? What do you mean you bathe every day? That's ridiculous. I'm surprised your skin hasn't been scrubbed off by now. Hey, what's that? Yes, I know that's shampoo. I know what that is. And no thank you. I don't want it. You're gonna make me smell like flowers and perfume, and I absolutely do not want that. I don't think you want that either, trust me. You were perfectly fine sleeping next to me before I even took a dip in the ocean. You don't care if I'm dirty. No, I am not being unreasonable. I'm a pirate. Pirates don't take baths. They don't. Hey, what are you doing? No, 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 no. Ow! Ah. Minnow, what the heck was that for? I know I said that you could do whatever you wanted to me, but I made that deal when I was picturing something entirely different. What? No. Don't you dare put that anywhere near my hair. Don't touch me. Ah. Oh. Oh. Um. Well, it's nicer than I expected. You have a very delicate touch. Hmm? Not so bad? Well, no, Minnow, this is very bad. If the crew finds out, they won't respect me anymore. It's not so much about being clean, it's the fact that you're bathing me. I'm perfectly capable of washing myself, and yet here I am being washed like some dirty cat. What? Of course I know how. I Christ. Why does this actually feel good? What are you doing to me? You really? You really have me wound around your finger, don't you? Was this your scheme this whole time? See if you could get me into a bath? What? A bet? With who? With Will? Oh no, this is awful. He's gonna find out and tell the rest of the crew. Oh god. It's like I'm your cat or something. No, I am not enjoying this at all. I am. I am not. But a deal's a deal, so I might as well just, you know, sit back and relax while you keep doing whatever the hell it is that you're doing. I suppose it's nice to be taken care of for once. Ugh, good lord, the water. There's no way all this dirt was on me, was it? You must have dumped something in here while I wasn't looking. Oh, you're rinsing my hair already? Can you, can you wash it again? Minnow, you're making a fool of me. Can you, can you please wash my hair again? Thank you. That's it. Maybe baths aren't so bad after all. Well, when is it your turn, hmm? Not that I'd make you share my dirty bathwater, but surely by your standards, you're also positively filthy. Hmm? What do you mean you already bathed? You've been with me this whole time. If you're talking about how you also took a dip in the ocean, then you're being a hypocrite. No. Okay, well, maybe I did take a peek, but only a little. Alright, well, Anthony can take his soap and shove it up his ass, alright? I can't believe you tease me like this, Minnow. You're lucky you have a nice face. That may be your only redeeming quality in this moment. That and your hands in my hair. If the servants did this for you, then maybe I can understand why you take a bath every day. Hey, Minnow. Do you want to, stay here for long? At your parents' estate, I mean. No? Yeah, me either. They keep such awful company, and I think I'm at risk of seriously injuring, if not flat out murdering your father. Thank goodness your ex-fiancé never showed up, or I really might have lost it. You can't blame me for defending your honor, right? You know, when I first met you, I assumed you'd grown up as some spoiled brat. But if these were the sort of people that you were surrounded with always, always just whispering and making all those passive aggressive comments, they must be jealous. It's the only reason I can think of. I mean, there's just nothing else to criticize, save for your trickery, but I'd be a hypocrite to judge you on that. Do you know how many times I wanted to pull my pistol out, shoot off a warning shot? I counted. 3 times. The first when that man, a duke was he? The one with the jowls, yes. When he insisted that you dance with him. I know it didn't look like it, but I was showing a massive amount of restraint when I told him to piss off. The second was, of course, with your father. And the third was when that old woman raised her hand to slap a servant. I think my glare was enough to stop her, though. I wasn't gonna shoot anyone, mind you. I wanted them to be a little scared. Well, they should be, I wouldn't dare describe the things I do to them if it didn't put your well-being at risk. You know what? Business can wait. I think we should go on a long vacation. A honeymoon. A real one. I think that I would rather have that instead of this uneventful wedding night, to make up for it. Sweetness. In case it wasn't terribly obvious, I'm not merely falling in love with you. Being here tonight, it's made me realize how protective I've become for you. How I'd lose my mind if anyone took you away. How I can't stand it when I have to keep my hands to myself. I've already fallen in love. That's been done with a while ago. I just didn't realize, and I guess I just didn't know how to show it. I know how to threaten people, but that's really it. I know how to finesse. I can wield a blade and a gun and spill blood, but I've been trying so hard to look you in the eyes and tell you that gosh, we're already married, yet why is it so hard? It's the logical conclusion, right? I can tell you that I've fallen in love with you, but I can't tell you that I love you. I love you, Minnow. Oh god, don't make me say it again. Just tell me that I'm not being an idiot. Thank heavens. I was beginning to think you only married me out of desperation. I I don't know why I was so scared of that. You've been nothing but good to me. I'm not gonna say that I don't deserve you lest the universe agree and find a way to separate us, but you really are too good for me. Too gentle and too generous and far too beautiful. Oh, Minnow. I hope we have the rest of our lives together. I love you. I really do.